Right, welcome back guys. Now, the reason I've got this in close up is to show you this. I'll just zoom in as much as I can without losing the focus. Okay guys, now there's been a lot of work done on this since the last time you've seen it, and that's the reason, because I haven't been filming things for some reason. But anyway, what I want to talk about was this part being fitted here and this massive pain in the ass cutout I had to make. Now I tried using my eye, which didn't work. I tried using my profile gauge, which, surprise surprise, did not really work, because while this looks straight there, it's actually going on a curved line. So what I did, I went back to basics and I'd cut a piece of paper roughly to fit, taped it down, and then I cut little bits of paper. You probably can't see them very well because they're all individual, but they're all taped onto the one big bit of paper that fit in each gap. Like there's a piece that's roughly that shaped, and there's a piece that's roughly that shaped, and so on and so forth. One at a time, all the way down there. So when I take it off, I have a profile. I can lay on that on both sides, mark and cut, which I've done. And as you can see, I've got a reasonably good gap, but it's still a bit rough. And I want to make it look like a coherent design. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my putty. First I'm going to drill a series of holes in this area, like that. And then I'm going to get my epoxy putty and put a piece of putty around that on both sides. Take this off, put the putty around both sides, press it through the holes, those joints, then whack it back on here so it perfectly conforms to that shape, but without it sticking to this plastic. Now, I tried a couple of things, work out what a good resist would be so to stop it sticking. And first my idea was to put some olive oil on the plastic, because that wouldn't damage the plastic, but surprise surprise, the putty stuck to it really well. So, bad idea. So the next idea is, and I think this should work, even if it doesn't, it's not going to stick to the gun. I'm going to cut myself just a little strip of wax paper, just a little bit, tape it along there. This will be off, drill some holes, put the putty just on this side, just on this piece, then quickly push it back on, screw it in place, and then sculpt the putty into place. And that way I'll have that bit done. Then when that's dry, and if it's a success, I'm not saying it's going to be, but if it looks so good, I'll do the other side and then I'll work my way up. If that doesn't work for some reason, my next step is, well, it was actually my first step, was to get some thermoplastic, 2 to 3 millimeters thick, perforated. You ever broken an arm or something, they wrap it in this plastic, they heat in some hot water and wrap it around your arm. Yeah, I can get it. The easiest way where I live is through eBay or something. It's about 20 bucks for a sheet. I only need a sheet. But, you know, why do it that way when I can do it this way? So I'm going to give it a shot. So I'll get prep done and then I'll get back to you. Right. Okay, guys. So there you can see my little series of holes. I've still got my screw in there. I'm going to have to just work around that as I put it on. Little piece of grease paper. So when I pull that down on there, get them in position on both sides, pull it in. I'll have to reposition the grease paper so it's always going to be underneath the putty. Temporarily put that one in, put the other one in, and that's all the while while the putty is sitting there going off. So I'll get back to you when I've done some of that and we'll see how we go. Okay, right guys, now you can see the putty there, complete with my dirty fingerprints. It's not a bad mould, it needs a lot of cleaning up. You'll notice that the wax paper has gone, primarily because it was stopping me getting the screw in that hole properly. Even though it went straight through, it was just restricting me, and also it tented over this side and it's left a little gap here which I'm going to have to fill as well. But it looks like it's going to work, so I'm going to leave that to dry, then sand it, finish it off and make it look pretty, see how it looks, and if it works I'll do the other side, then I'll work on this bit up here. Other things that have been happening, because an awful lot's been done since last time I took a video because I was doing lots of stuff. Let me just move the camera back a bit. Right, so about there. Yep, that looks good. Okay, so what else has been done? Oh, okay. Sure, that's in. I'll put that in. A little bit of metal acts as a strap hanger, and that is held there purely by friction by the two sides being joined together. No bolts, no nothing, and it's really strong, so I'm pretty happy with that. Also, I ordered something off Wish, the Chinese eBay type site. This, a little laser sight, $4, and it works really well. Can you see that laser there? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, and amazingly it arrived in about 3 days, which absolutely stunned me. So that's going to go inside here. I have ordered a pressure activated palm switch, which I hope we'll be able to connect to it and come down, and so you'll be able to turn the laser off that. And I'm also hoping to get a little torch in there and have another palm switch so you can have white light or a laser. That's been done, fixed up, and I've even puttied up this area I had to cut off. Now the final thing that's holding me up is getting the chopping board. Surprise, surprise, you don't find many of them in Goodwills, and probably because the same reason you don't find much underwear in Goodwills. People don't want to use people's used stuff. Nylon chopping boards, as you know, take on a bit of a browny tinge when they're used, and they're normally just thrown out. So I might have to buy my wife a new chopping board and steal our old one. So we'll see what happens there. I want to use the nylon, one, because it's easy to work, two, because it's very well finished to begin with. If it's used, it looks scratched and battered. Wood, you need to cut, sand, seal, so once it's painted it doesn't look like painted wood. This you can just paint. Metal's too heavy to muck around with this sort of thing. And yeah, this is really light fitting on it. It'll be a lot. The shield will be lighter than a piece of wood of any type, I reckon. So I'm going to have to do something there. So that's it for now. Right. Okay, guys. Now, as you can see, the epoxy putty's dried, and I've sanded a bit, rough shaped it. Looks pretty good. Seems to come off reasonably easy when it's stuck directly to the plastic. This bit here you can see is very rough because that's where it tented the first time, so I'll put another bit of putty in there. And I've also done the rough shaping on the other side, just the putty. I haven't sanded it yet, so I'm going to take this off and show you how the sanding of that goes. Pretty straightforward and easy. You'll get the picture. Back in a sec. Okay guys, just a heads up, that putty will stick to everything, and it even stuck to the screw head, held it in and almost stripped the top out of the head trying to get it out. So if you do it like I had to, make sure you leave some space around your screw head to get it in. That side I did, but that side I had to dig it out under, and boy, what a mess. So now even the wax paper seems to peel off pretty good, so that's good. So now what I'm going to do is the sanding, and thank goodness I've got my sanding drum on my Dremel. I should have a mask, but I don't have any with me at the moment. Next big thing, I've got a fan over here, and I'm just going to turn it on to blow past, so it'll probably get hurricane noise. There we go. Now, so as you can see, little bulge just there. So I was just doing it so you could see what's happening, but I was also angling it so I could see, like I was looking down that way to see that the back edge of this needed to be a bit wider to match the front edge. But so that's pretty much it. What I'll do is probably get onto it with a knife and some just hand sanding just to finish it off. Just to explain what I'm doing, as you can see I was moving like that, but if you notice my thumb down here, it's on the surface. So I'm just going back and forwards trying to keep it the same level grind. So if you look down it, you can see it's a pretty flat grind straight across. Still some cleaning up to do, of course. Same thing there and same thing there. if I just had my thumb up here. And I'll just continue on with that, and we'll finish it off. Okie dokie. So as you can see, I've gone through to the plastic there, but it's pretty smooth. So next step is just an X-Acto knife, craft knife, whatever you want to call it, down there, just cleaning up that little bit. That's not a very straight line across there, so I'll just cut one. So, as you can see, they're mismatched. One's straight, one's slightly back, but that's not going to matter. Just clean up that. So, that's my basic shapes that blend in with the weapon. Not bad, eh? Pretty nice match. Show you that side as well. So, the next thing I've got to do is the rest. And then I'm going to cover all these surfaces, all these irregular surfaces, with little cut bits of wax paper on both sides. First I'm going to put this on and use my trusty purple texture, assuming I can find it under my fan, there it is, to mark where that line goes. So now that I know where that line goes, as you can probably see, as you can see, I'll put wax paper just covering that bit all the way along, across there, up there, through all that nonsense in there. Right, so gun's held on with a bit of metal strapping, put tape and wax paper all around there, pre-drilled all my holes on both sides. What I'm probably going to do is work up to about that point there on either side, and then to the top of the separate piece, because there's a lot of backfilling to do there, so I'll have to mix up a lot of putty. Okay guys, just furiously trying to smooth the putty as much as I can so I don't have a lot of sanding, getting edges straight, and as I said, it stops at this top ridge here, and at this join with this other bit I've made sure to separate the two pieces by a little crease. It'll all be painted the same, but because this flexes slightly when you take it on and off, you don't want this to be rigid and chance cracking, which it probably won't, but so while I've still got a bit of time, there's a slight ridge there. I hope you can still see this, not with my great big hands in the way. Yeah, there we go. You can see a rough spot there, and it's probably not a good corner edge. No, it's pretty rough. But what I've done in the past is I've gone over this sort of stuff with a bit of Tamiya putty and smoothed it out. I've done it over here and a few other places, so yeah, that's what I'm probably going to do. Okie dokie, so I'll have to let that dry and we'll move along. Alright, back soon.